Picture this. You're scrolling through your favorite social media feed at midnight, half awake, mindlessly tapping like buttons and commenting on random posts. Across the globe, someone you don't know is quietly studying every digital footprint you leave behind. This isn't some B-movie cyber thriller. This is our hyper-connected reality. Hackers, ranging from curious teens in their bedrooms to elite groups funded by governments, are out there. They're not just sitting in dark basements hammering keyboards. They're studying human psychology, leveraging cutting-edge tech, and bending the rules of the cyber world to their will. In this video, we're peeling back the layers of Hollywood hype to show you how hackers really operate. Using insights from respected industry frameworks like the MITRE ATT&CK matrix and real-world case studies, we'll uncover how threats are evolving and what you can do to stay ahead. Ready to see the matrix behind the screen? Let's jump in. Think of the digital world as a giant, sprawling playground, except it's not always fun in games. Every gadget, every account, every app, and even every human interaction is part of what we call an attack surface. It's like a massive puzzle where each piece could be a potential entry point for an attacker. Your laptop at the cafe, the Wi-Fi you hop onto without a second thought, the smart light bulb in your living room, or the cloud storage your company uses. Each one is a tiny door. Hackers scan these doors, test the locks, and look for cracks. Sometimes they find an outdated app with a known bug. Sometimes they exploit a careless click by an employee. Understanding your attack surface means you realize that every digital choice you make, every accept button you tap, can open a path for intruders. By seeing how huge and interconnected this surface really is, you can stop treating security like a chore and start treating it like street smarts in a dangerous neighborhood. That's enough theoretical information. You're right, but it was important. Imagine a hacker planning a phishing attack step by step. First, they search GitHub for open-source phishing toolkits, frameworks that make creating fake login pages and capturing credentials almost effortless. With a few commands, they clone a repository containing templates that mimic well-known services, email providers, social networks, or even corporate VPN portals. Next, they set up a small virtual private server. It could be a low-cost hosting solution somewhere in the world with no questions asked. On this VPS, they configure a domain that looks dangerously similar to a legitimate website. Maybe a brand name with a slight typo. Using the clone tools, they deploy a phishing page that looks identical to your company's login portal. The colors, the logo, even the wording of the forgot password link. It all seems genuine. To lure targets, they send out well-crafted emails pretending to be from the IT department, urging users to verify their account or update their password. When an unsuspecting user clicks the link, they land on the fake login page. As soon as they enter their credentials, the phishing toolkit silently logs every keystroke. The victim sees a brief loading screen and is then redirected to the real site, barely noticing anything suspicious. Meanwhile, the attacker now holds the keys to that user's account. This is not just theory. This is exactly how many modern phishing campaigns unfold, powered by open-source tools and a bit of psychological trickery. Consider the attack on Uber, one of the world's most recognized ride-sharing giants. In 2022, news broke that a young hacker had gained extraordinary access to Uber's internal systems. The attacker is reported to have tricked an employee into revealing credentials and then leveraged that initial foothold to roam freely within the company's cloud infrastructure, financial tools, and internal chats. This was not some Hollywood fantasy. It was a real event that shocked both the cybersecurity world and the general public. The hacker browsed sensitive data, posted screenshots online, and openly boasted about the intrusion. So how did this attack actually happen? When news of the Uber hack spread, everyone wondered what cutting-edge exploit had been used. But this was not about finding obscure software flaws. It was about human nature and the value of a single password. According to what came to light, the attacker managed to obtain a contractor's corporate password, possibly from a previously compromised database on the dark web, or a password dump from another breached service. Many people reuse their passwords across different platforms, and attackers know this. Armed with that password, the hacker tried logging into Uber's internal systems. They couldn't just walk in, of course. Multi-factor authentication stood in the way. requiring the contractor's approval for any login attempt. Here's where MFA fatigue came into play. The attacker triggered repeated MFA push notifications to the contractor's phone, late at night, multiple times. Over time, the barrage of prompts confused or annoyed the contractor enough to tap approve just to stop the onslaught. With that single tap, the attacker bypassed the final barrier. Once inside, the attacker found more than just network access. They discovered plain text credentials for additional services tucked away in internal resources. This allowed them to move laterally within Uber's systems, exploring Slack channels, code repositories, and financial tools. They openly announced their presence on Uber's internal communication platform, sharing screenshots to prove the extent of the breach. Uber's security team scrambled to contain the damage, disabling accounts, taking critical systems offline, and investigating the full scope of the intrusion. While Uber stated that sensitive customer payment data wasn't stolen, the lesson was unmistakable. No matter how advanced your defenses, a single password reused across multiple sites and one human's momentary lapse of judgment can tear down layers of security in an instant. The Uber hack reminds us that even large and well-resourced organizations can fall when human error meets persistent attackers. Awareness, careful authentication practices, and constant vigilance can make a difference. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into cybersecurity, don't forget to subscribe.